Assalamualaikum sir.
Assalamualaikum.
This is Dr. Vinit Manak. Today my topic is nephrotic scores, round 2 presentation. In round 1, we discuss renal cell carcinoma. These are the learning objectives. Number 1, to describe the different renal tumor scoring systems. Number 2, to discuss how renal methods are evaluated and measured. Number 3, to review the main medication in an attempt to assess relationship between these scores and perioperative and post-operative variables. Introduction. Incidence of renal cell carcinoma rising. Incidental detection due to advanced imaging. Small renal masses greater than 1/3 cases. It is the widely divergent but oncological equivalent treatment options like open laparoscopic nephrectomy to robotic partial nephrectomy to percutaneous ablation. Radical nephrectomy. Higher rates of chronic kidney disease and adverse sequelae, and partial nephrectomy technical skills post-op complication. Ablation, it is the feasibility and recurrence, and patients largely present without symptoms, and the guiding principle of primum non nocere is especially critical in this clinical space. Primum non nocere is a Latin phrase that means first to no harm. Okay, why we needed nephrometric scores? Different tumor, different surgeon, and risk quantification, predict surgical complexity, risk of perioperative complications, oncologic outcomes, and communication between treating physicians, and also comparisons of published studies. Size matters. Tumor size, it is the prognostic indicator for oncological and surgical outcomes and risk factor for urinary fistula formation and post-operative renal failure after partial nephrectomy. The single most common variable with important implications for overall prognosis. Okay, background. Today, treatment decision making for a given renal mass remains overly subjective because of provider and patient biases, precluding meaningful comparisons between studies due to the lack of standardized and quantifiable tumor descriptors. The score systems currently represent the most comprehensive tools for categorizing patients undergoing surgery into low, moderate, and high complexity based on tumor characteristics. Three main anatomic classification and scoring systems are used. Number 1, renal. Number 2, Padua, preoperative aspects and dimensions used for an anatomical. And number 3, C-index. The renal and Padua score involve similar components and methodology, enabling a comprehensive description of the tumor size, polarity, location, and closeness to the collecting system. While the C-index score involves a complex mathematical concept and characterizes tumor centrality based on the ratio of the distance between the tumor and kidney center and also tumor radius. Okay, renal nephrometry scoring system. The renal nephrometry scoring system was proposed by Kutikov and Guzov. The renal nephrometry scoring system was developed to categorize renal masses into low, intermediate, and high complexity based on cross-sectional imaging findings. Its purpose to aid in decision making, patient counseling, surgical planning, and patient follow-up as well as academic reporting. Classifications of this score. Scoring is based on 5 basic radiological features of the mass. This score was originally developed for renal masses based on multi-detector CT features, utilizing a CT IDU protocol that can also be calculated from MRI features. Renal is actually an easy to remember acronym. For example, mnemonic of the 5 features score at the column. RENAL. R for radius, E for exophytic or endophytic, N for nearness, A for anterior, and L for location. The renal score characterizes tumors using size, depth, location, and nearness to the renal sinus and collecting system. Except for the component A describing anterior versus posterior location, a 3-point scoring scale is used adding up to the score sum, ranging from a minimum of 4 to a maximum of 12. Going to use and why this score. Patient with renal mass on cross-sectional imaging, CT or MRI. It standardizes reporting of renal tumor size, depth, and location. It informs surgical decision making and effectively compares methods in practice and in the literature. It allows for accurate communication regarding complexity of masses, for example, when consulting with specialists before images are sent. It is the validated to predict likelihood of surgical complications, perioperative clinical outcomes, high-grade pathology, and case selection, like partial versus radical nephrectomy. The most consistently used and extensively validated score in the urologic literature. Pearls and pitfalls of this score. The renal nephrometry score was developed as a standardized system to objectify reporting of critical anatomical features of a renal mass. It also provides a quantifiable and reproducible method to classify renal masses according to anatomic complexity. It stratifies masses into low, medium, and high complexity, with increasing complexity correlating with more aggressive tumor biology, more challenging resectability via nephron sparing surgery, and clinical outcomes. It can be used in pre-operative evaluation, planning, and standardized literature reporting. It doesn't engender specific management strategies. It doesn't preclude the need to view imaging directly in surgical planning and prior to operation. We discuss here one by one. Number one, radius. The radius component represents the maximum diameter of the net in any single plane. Axial images and alternative views, coronal or critical should be evaluated when driving initially. Figure 2 shows figure 2 a tumor larger than 4 centimeter but smaller than 7 centimeter. 2 points we assign here on coronal cut. And figure B, tumor smaller than 4 centimeter, 1 point we assign on axial cut. The radius is quantitated on a 3-point scale. If tumors are 4 centimeter, we assign 1 point. If those tumors less than 4 centimeter but greater than 7 centimeter, we assign 2 points.
Greater than
And
4
those
and
tumors,
sorry, greater than 4 and less than 7.
sorry, and those tumors that are 7 centimeter, we assign 3 points. If it assess coronal and surgical views, not just axial. Number two, exophytic or endophytic. Exophytic or endophytic component describes the tumor relationship to the surface of the kidney. Exophytic or endophytic status is quantitated on a 3-point scale. Tumors that are 50% or more exophytic, we assign 1 point. Tumors that are less than 50% exophytic, we assign 2 points. While those that are entirely endophytic, we assign 3 points. And also lesions that project more than 50% outside the renal cortex, we assign 1 point. Those tumors less than 50%, we assign 2 points. And those that are entirely endophytic, we assign 3 points. This image shows broken line expected renal control used to determine key exophytic or endophytic attributes. Tumor projects more than 50% outside renal cortex and should be assigned P score of 1. And if it's not all masses are symmetrical, use the most predominant feature in any axis, measure from where normal parenchymal edge should be if no tumor was present. Masses often distort normal renal parenchymal contour. It compares distance from normal parenchymal edge location to most endophytic or most exophytic portions of the tumor. Number three, nearness. The nearness component describes the distance between tumor defense portion and closest sinus, fat, or collecting system. Here, tumors again divided into three categories. If tumors 7 millimeters or greater from the collecting system or renal sinus, we assign 1 point. Those tumors greater than 4 centimeters, greater than 4 millimeters, but less than 7 millimeters, we assign 2 points. And the tumors that invade, touch, or come within 4 millimeters of the sinus or collecting system, we assign 3 points. Proximity to Connecting system is best determined on excretory images, and it measures from deepest portion of the tumor in any plane to renal sinus or collecting system. A descriptor. The A descriptor designates whether the tumor is anterior or posterior relative to the kidney midline plane on X-ray. The A and T descriptor bring a non-numerical suffix. If tumor lies primarily on the ventral surface of the kidney, the anti-A descriptor is assigned. Located on the dorsal renal surface, we assign a posterior derivation. The A by P by X suffix is used at the end of the nephrometry term, polycent. A 7A tumor denotes a nephrometry sum of 7 in anterior location. This tumor is centrally located. This image shows suffix X is assigned to tumor if anterior or posterior definition is not possible. If it assesses in axial view, draw a line parallel renal hyaline structures bisecting the kidney. Assign if A primarily anterior to line, P if primarily posterior. Assign X if mass on the tip of poles or otherwise cannot be assessed A or P designation. We can apply a suffix, for example, A. Number 5, location. Location descriptor defines the position of the tumor with respect to the polar lines. The polar line is designated as the plane of the kidney above or below which the medial lip of the parenchyma is interrupted by the renal sinus fat, vessels, or the collecting system. Location is best conceived as identifying the tumor position in the coronal plane, although this component is easily assessed on axial imaging as well. This image shows above the upper or below the lower polar line on axial front, a concentric ring enclosed circle of renal parenchyma exists. Between the polar lines, the complete disc of renal parenchyma opens up like a horseshoe and is interrupted by fat. Renal vessels and connecting system as they enter either center. Uh, this is the table of renal nephrometry score based on a 3-point scale. 1.2 point and 3 point R for radius. Those tumors less than 4 are equal to 4, we assign 1 point, and those tumors greater than 4 but less than 7 centimeters, we assign 2 points, and those tumors less than 7 are equal to 7, we assign 3 points. And number 2, exophytic or endophytic properties. Tumors that are greater than 50% or more exophytic are assigned 1 point. Tumors that are less than 50% exophytic, we assign 2 points. While those that are entirely endophytic, we assign 3 points. Number 3, nearness of the tumor. Nearness of the tumor to the collecting system or sinus. 7 millimeter or greater from the collecting system or renal sinus, we assign 1 point. Tumors greater than 4 but less than 7 millimeter, we assign 2 points. And tumors that invade, touch, or come within 4 millimeter of the sinus or collecting system are assigned 3 points. Anterior and posterior. No point. The A and P descriptor is designated using a non-numerical suffix. If tumor lies primarily on the ventral surface of the kidney, the anterior descriptor is assigned. Tumors located on the dorsal renal surface, we assign posterior designation. Suffix X is assigned to tumor if anterior or posterior designation is not possible. And L for location. Uh, Entirely above the upper or below the lower polar line, we assign 1 point. And lesion crosses polar line, we assign 2 points. And tumors greater than, not greater than, yes, greater than 50% of a mass is across polar line, or mass crosses the axial renal middle line, or mass is entirely between the polar lines, we assign 3 points. Complexity of renal score. O is 4 to 6, AM 7 to 9, and I 10 to 12. This figure shows renal electrolytic scoring location component. Polar lines, solid lines, and axial renal midline broken line are depicted on each sagittal view of the kidney. Numbers 1 to 3 represent points attributed to each category of tumor.
Now, if we just stop for a moment here, Rahim, yes, at this slide, uh, somebody can ask us why we want to go into the topic of nephrometry score. Now, for me, the most interesting thing and the most important thing about nephrometry score is whenever a report of a patient comes to any one of us, we always look into various sentences, and we look at the picture also, and that is a two-dimensional picture. Now, two-dimensional picture will give you a little bit of a lot of these things. For instance, exophytic or endophytic, maybe at one pole or the other pole, maybe close to the renal hilum, close to the vessels. Um, it might have a bizarre shape, or it is just a very circular in shape, having some geometrical boundary. So all these things matter. Why they matter? Because we want to make a picture of it whenever we want to operate on such patients. And the other thing is, we always see the picture, uh, read the report, and make an adjustment according to our own experience, whether this patient will need a lot of auxiliary procedure or auxiliary, um, say, arrangements. For instance, blood, for instance, uh, products of plasma, which might be possible because there is an assessment. There is always a preoperative assessment that this tumor will give you a lot of challenges when you operate on it. Uh, all these things are actually at the back of the mind of somebody who wants to operate and who is actually in the process of designing the procedure. Now, what I mean by designing is at which plane the kidney has to be operated, how you want to take out the tumor, whether you want to take out the whole kidney, that is radical nephrectomy, or you want to do partial nephrectomy. Nephrometry scores are very important when you want to assess something preoperatively and you want to design a procedure for partial nephrectomies. The second most important thing about these scores is they give you a sort of digitalization or digital explanation in terms of certain digits, the complexity of the anatomy that you want to deal when you want to operate. Now, there are many kinds of procedures that can be done for many kinds of route that can be adopted. For instance, you might operate on a kidney through open technique, you might operate on a kidney through laparoscopy, you might operate on a kidney through robotic assisted laparoscopy, and that is an advanced laparoscopy. Now, all these three different modalities, they need this kind of explanation and imagination, because you have to have certain kind of plane to be created. You can't just go in and make your way. You have to have some plan, and the better the plan, the lesser will be the complications. For instance, bleeding. So if you start with an assessment that this patient needs a lot of blood, because that blood has to be transfused intraoperatively, because the tumor is very close to the vessels, very close to the hilum, uh, then you always have in store a lot of blood. The same thing goes with any kind of expectant problem that occurs when you want to operate. For instance, closeness to the collecting system. Then you have to make sure that you have repaired the collecting system when you take out the tumor and you have done the partial nephrectomy. The other thing is, we are actually working in terms of augmented reality. Now, by augmented reality, what I mean is, for instance, if we want to operate, um, if we want to operate via laparoscopy or robotic assisted laparoscopy, then we all have a kind of augmentation of our senses. For instance, tactile sensation, it is slightly different when you operate via laparoscopy and again via robotic. Same goes with our vision. The vision is three-dimensional. It is like stereoscopic when you do surgery via a robotic assisted surgical platform. So you have to make adjustments in this modern age of surgery whenever you want to operate on a tumor. Now, this is not the final stage of development of surgical platforms. We will go somewhere from augmented reality to virtual reality when the robot will have kind of information which is about the complexity of anatomy, maybe in this form which is right now in front of us, or maybe in a form which is different from it, but it will have to be in digits. It will be a digitalized information. And when it is fed into the robot is on its own to do surgery, and you are the one, the master on the robot. So robot is a slave and you are the master. But whatever you feed in as a master, the slave will do it. And the slave is actually the robotic arm which is doing on itself. Now, since robotic arm is something which has got a lot of advantages, it has got the advantage of the complete knowledge of anatomy, the complete knowledge of the depth of the tumor, and it is working on those informations and on those indices like renal score or Padua score that it knows better than yourself as an operator. The hand of the surgeon has got some kind of a tremor always, which is minimized up to the level of maybe nil or null when it is operated um, by the robot. So you see, there are many advantages, but if you kind of put in wrong information or information which is slightly less than accurate, then you will all have a lot of um, those things which you do not want to have, maybe a lot of complications. So this is just something in the direction of moving from augmented reality to virtual reality. So we'll be talking about this thing in future also, but let's start understanding and putting our own impressions which we write down in sentences when we take down the report of any CT scan or MRI scan. If we consider all these points in a scoring system, then it will be easier to plan, to judge, and to foresee something which will happen when we do surgery. So I think I have made my point clear. If that is clear to you, at least I have tried myself. Uh, is there any question at this point? Or we can just move forward. Yes, Rafi.
Sir, I had the impression we are using nephrometry score to plan our surgery, as in if it's a complex surgery, we are going for the traditional technique, radical nephrectomy, open nephrectomy rather than surgical, robotic or laparoscopic. So can we use it as such, or it's just telling us the complexity of a laparoscopic or robotic surgery?
You see, if you have a CT scan film in your hand and you ask two different surgeons separately, and both of them are not in communication with each other, they will have separate plans and they will have separate set of apprehensions rather. Why? Because they both have got different kind of experiences in their lives. Maybe one surgeon is too aggressive. Maybe the other surgeon is too meticulous. He wants to take care of the patient. He wants to take care of any eventuality, and that makes that surgeon a safer surgeon as compared to the first one who wants to dive into any kind of a situation, and then he says that I have done a lot of cases, like 1,000 renal tumor cases. This is not a problem. Yes, if it is a problem, I'll deal with it. So that is one way of looking at things in life. The other way is, since science has progressed to a point when the difference between the opinion of one surgeon and the opinion of the other surgeon is is not too divergent, just because of the reason that these kind of scores or these kind of assessments are there in front of us. So if, for instance, if it is a high renal score like 10 to 12, then this information is for everybody. This information is for the surgeon number one as well as for surgeon number two. Yes, they are both free to do whatever they want to do, but now there is something which is on the table. There is something which is not an impression. There is something which can again be used in post-operatively in the setting of something called audit. You always do surgical audits, and whenever you do surgical audits, this is for the sole purpose of seeing the things in retrospective fashion, that where somebody has gone a little bit away from the normal line. Now that is the point where actually the morbidity is happened. Now you see, we are all in the practice of doing procedures on patients. Now, when we do procedure on a patient, there is always a question that has to be asked, whether that procedure which has been applied is applied according to certain guidelines, according to certain prescribed steps, or if a procedure has been done, the kidney has been taken out, but actually the incision was not proper, the incision was too big, maybe you have violated the space, you have gone from abdominal space to thoracic region, and you have opened up the pleural space. So now the morbidity is increased, which I think if you just sit down for a minute, maybe you take this thing to a multidisciplinary team, talk amongst 2 or 3 surgeons, devise a strategy which has got an input of a lot of people, a senior person as well as a junior person. Maybe there are certain areas which are hidden from the eye of one person. So there is always a thing called collective wisdom, and that collective wisdom is always something which is reflected on the result. So if we come back to the same point, the institutional practice is always something which is of benefit. When you work in a hospital, there is not only one person, there are a lot of people who are working, and there is something which is known as unconventional learning. We always learn from each other, and that happens whenever we do practice in a group. But if we do practice like a solo practice, we don't actually say input from other people, and we are not seen by other people, so we don't have inputs, we don't have some new ideas, for instance, we don't have maybe some solutions to problems which are actually hidden from our own sight. So there is always I think a room for improvement, and it's better to discuss, it's better to have such kind of scores, such kind of um, things that are actually helpful in pre-planning. So that's my take on the subject. So that answers your question,
Yes,
right? So Arif, you want to say something here?
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. So Arif, today, yeah,
I joined a little late.
right. So today's topic,
I was actually
yeah,
late.
okay. So today's topic is about the usability of different nephrometry scores. So we have been using it for the past 1 year or so. 2 of our candidates from College of Physician and Surgeon for FCPS. They have taken this project and they are doing it. So we thought of discussing it amongst our newer candidates for MS program. So this is something which I was just relating to.
Actually, when I was in Singapore doing SIU fellowship,
Yeah.
theoretically they used to discuss this mathematics score, but in practically it use was very less.
Yeah.
I think, as you already said, that expertise of the surgeon is
Yes.
the main thing.
Right.
How he will manage the tumor, whether if he is a very much experienced, then he can manage big tumor, big things.
Right. So Arif, as we are going towards something called standardization of practice, and that has to be done worldwide, we have to make sure that all our future surgeons are as good as somebody who is leaving the field, maybe retiring from the field. So if you want your future surgeons to work on a better platform, um, and their learning curve is not steeper, it should be rather less steep, then I think they have to practice something with a kind of tool which makes sure that the patient safety is of utmost importance. Now, surgeons are those who have got the, say, eye of a tiger and the heart of a lion, but that thing is something of a romance. Now, you have to be a mathematician. You have to be maybe a little bit of geometry in your brain. Otherwise, when you sit on a stool or on a chair and you work on a platform called robot, then it will be totally different. Your imagination is totally different. Now, gone were the days when you feel and operate. Now, actually, the tip of the instrument is your finger. So you have to make adjustments. So we are moving in direction which is totally different direction, and it is 21st century. It is not 20th century or 19th century now. So that is my advice to all my younger colleagues and to those like you yourself, Arif. You have to make sure that you are smarter enough to understand mathematics and geometry, right? So
Yes, I
we
also think that
yeah we
SIUT at least should do
yes. So we are
practice like this.
we are on the path to change a lot. We have got one robot, and that's the only robot in Pakistan. So we operate on it, and let's see what happens in future, right? So Rahim, can just proceed. Thank you very much.
Padua score, preoperative aspects and dimensions used for an anatomy. It is the score of renal tumors taking consideration five anatomical aspects of the tumor plus its maximal diameter. This classification differs from the renal score system, with the main differences represented by the definition of the sinus line and the evaluation of the anatomical relationship between the tumor and the collecting system or renal sinus. The Padua classification adds another parameter, the tumor relationship with the lateral or medial limb. All other parameters like radius, exophytic or endophytic are similar in two classifications. Sinus. To define the longitudinal location on the images, the renal sinus is used in the topographical landmark to subdivide the kidney into upper, middle, and lower parts. The renal sinus appears in the CT images as a hypodense area, the adipose tissue of the renal sinus inside the renal parenchyma. The upper part of the kidney extends from the upper extremity to the first CT image in which the renal hypodense sinus appears, upper sinus line. The middle part of the kidney corresponds to the extent of the renal sinus. The lower part of the kidney extends from the first CT image in which the renal hypodense sinus disappears, inferior sinus line, the lower extremity. The sinus line is an easily recognizable landmark on a CT axial examination, but it can also be placed on coronal images or MRI examination. According to longitudinal location, the tumors are also classified into two different categories. Entirely above the upper or below lower sinus line or crossing the sinus line, less than 50% tumors or crossing the sinus line, tumors greater than 50% are falling entirely between the sinus line, we assign 2 points here. Later on video, tumors are classified into different categories as being dependent on the lateral or laser medial limb. Tumors near the lateral limb are assigned 1 point. Tumors near the medial limb is assigned 2 points. Renal sinus is a spacious cavity formed by the extension of the perinephric space into deep recesses located at the medial border of the kidney. The renal sinus is surrounded by the kidney parenchyma laterally and almost filled by the renal pelvis and vessels, with the remaining space being filled by fat. On CT images, the low attenuation fat outlines the collecting system and the blood vessels and differentiates the renal sinus from the parenchyma. Their tumors are classified into two groups. Without renal sinus, we assign 1 point, and located or extended at the level of the renal sinus, we assign 2 points. Collecting. The major and minor galaxies of the collecting system are located within the renal sinus. Tumors are also classified into two categories with respect to the collecting system. Absent a relationship, we assign 1 point, or present a relationship, we assign 2 points, involving a dislocation, infiltration of the collecting system. Score assigned to each anatomical feature individual with the cognitive aspects and dimensions used for an anatomical classification. Longitudinal polar division is superior or inferior polar line, we assign 1 score. With middle, we assign 2 scores. Exophatic rate, tumors related rates are equal to 50%, we assign 1 point. And those tumors less than 50%, we assign 2 points. And those tumors entirely exophatic, we assign 3 points. Okay. Renal rate. Lateral limb. Tumors near lateral limb assign 1 point. Tumors near the medial limb we assign 2 points. Renal sinus. Without renal sinus, assign 1 point. Are located or extended at the level of the renal sinus, we assign 2 points. Urinary collecting system. Absent a relationship, we assign 1 point. Present a relationship, we assign 2 points. Tumor size. If tumors less than or equal to 4 centimeters, we assign 1 point. If tumors in between 4 times 1 to 7 centimeters, we assign 1 point. If tumors over 6 centimeters, we assign 3 points. Anterior or posterior phase can be indicated with the letter A or B or an X-ray. Padua versus renal. Number 1 point, polar lines versus renal lines. Polar lines, location where the medialmost portion of the renal parenchyma is interrupted by renal sinus, fat, vessels, or collecting system. While sinus line on CT or MRI by the appearance of the adipose, hypodense tissue inside renal parenchyma. Number 2 point, inclusion of renal sinus involvement is a separate parameter. This is the image of anterior and posterior end of the kidney. Figure A shows the longitudinal classification of the tumor. Figure B, margin division of the tumor. Figure C, tumor's relationship with renal sinus. And figure D, tumor relationship with urinary collecting system. And figure E, tumors digging into the parenchyma. And figure F, tumors classification. Number 3, index. The T index is based on the ratio of the distance between the tumor center and the kidney center and also tumor radius. The T index is measured to measure tumor centrality contact with any tumor with a C index of less than 1, and some portion of the tumor superimposed on the kidney center, and a C index of 1 equals to tumor with the baseline of the center. If the centrality index increases, the tumor center becomes more distant from the kidney center. This measurement can be made in a straightforward method using streamlined two-dimensional 3D images. In measurement unit, a middle frame is identified by averaging image section numbers showing the most and lowest kidney borders. In this middle section, kidney center is placed in the center of ellipse all around the kidney periphery. This figure showing the most upper and lower kidney borders, like the last section where kidney tissue is visualized. Image numbers from these border sections are averaged to provide the middle image section number, right kidney upper limit in section 78 and lower limit in section 140. We calculate an average of 109. In this middle section, 109 kidney center is placed in the center of ellipse draw around kidney periphery. Distance y in centimeter is number of sections scrolled up and down between the middle section and the section showing the maximum tumor diameter divided by image size thickness. Distance x in centimeter is measured between the hilar axial reference point and tumor center. To perform this step, the cursor is stabilized on the central axial reference point beginning slowly. Tumor diameter is measured parallel to line drawn to measure x. Diameter is half to determine the tumor radius. The image section showing the largest tumor diameter is then identified. The number of sections required to transverse between the middle section and the section showing the maximum tumor diameter is recorded and divided by image slice thickness. In this case, 2 mm to calculate distance by in centimeter. The C is calculated with measurements obtained from a 2D CT to determine the length of two sides of right triangle. The Pythagorean theorem is used to calculate the hypotenuse of the triangle. The hypotenuse is indicative of the proximity of the center of the region to the center of the kidney. The number C is divided by the radius of the tumor to obtain the C index. Distance x in centimeter is measured between the hilar axial reference point and the tumor center. To perform this step, the cursor is stabilized on central axial reference point during scrolling. We measure tumor diameter parallel to line drawn between the hilar reference point and the tumor center and record it. Diameter is hard to determine the tumor radius. The ratio C by R allows the calculation of the C index. C index model A to B in C index model. C shows green lines with hypotenuse of triangle formed by slides x and y shows green lines. C index is calculated by dividing C by R. Figure A, C index is 0. Figure B, C index is 1. Figure C, C index is 2. While figure D, C index is 1 times 7. Okay. DAP score, diameter axial polar nephriometry. It is the integration and optimization of linear and centrality index scoring systems. DAP nephriometry scoring system, a combination of A and P scores indicate tumor location and centrality. Diameter scoring, if tumors less than 2.4 cm, assign 1 point. If tumors 2.4 to 4.4 cm, we assign 2 points. And if tumors greater than 4.4 centimeters, we assign 3 points. On axial distance scoring, if tumors greater than 1.5 centimeters, we assign 1 point. If tumors less than or equal to 1.5 centimeters, assign 2 points. If tumors overlap, we assign 3 points. Polar distance scoring, if tumors greater than 2 centimeters, assign 1 point. If tumors less than or equal to 2 centimeters, we assign 2 points. If tumors overlap, we assign 3 points. 1.2 centimeter tumor, 2.1 centimeter from axial reference point and 2 image section 0.6 centimeters superior to equatorial plane is scored as 1 plus 2 is equal to 4. While tumor 5.8 centimeter overlapping axial reference point and in equatorial plane is scored as 3 plus 3 is equal to 9. Tumor 3.5 centimeter overlapping axial reference point and 7 image section 2.1 centimeter superior to equatorial plane is scored as 2 plus 3 plus 1 is equal to 6. Depth versus renal. Depth better than renal for more specific time and embolism. These both scores do not predict loss of renal function. If tumors greater than 7, depth greater than 7, we do open partial nephrectomy. Again, zonal nephro scoring system. This scoring system is based on 3 zones. N for near death, T for critical zones, R for radius, O for organization. If less touches the cortex and lower pole below the collecting system and radius less than 2.5 centimeters in diameter and 50% tumor exotic will assign 1 point. In zone 2, less touches the medulla, lesser but not touching the collecting system and diameter, radius diameters greater than or equal to 2.5 centimeters but less than 4 centimeters in diameter and 50% endocritic, 75% endocritic with a 92 points. If less touches connecting system are processed renal sinus, upper pole or touches connecting system and radius greater than or equal to 4 centimeters in diameter and 75% endocritic with a 93 points. Low is 4 to 8 points, intermediate is 7 to 9 points, and high is 10 to 12 points. This is the identical small renal with score using individual components of the renal nephrometric system and the total nephro scoring system. Renal score is 7 while the nephro score is 11. ABC score, arterial base complexity scoring system. It is the surgical complexity assessment system based on the arterial vascular anatomy of the kidney. It depends on the size and importance of the arteries to be controlled. This figure shows this image shows tumors originate from or extending to the renal medulla and reaching to the line connecting the tip of the renal capillary, therefore requiring transection of the interlobar artery. And this image also shows renal vessels extending into the renal sinus towards the central collecting system and involving the segmental arteries and their branches. This picture shows tumors in proximity of or involving the renal hilum. MAP score, MAP score, Mayo Adhesive Probability Score. It is an accurate image-based scoring system to predict adherent perinephric fat in partial nephrectomy. It is the method of determining perinephric fat measurements. T for posterior, modality used in MAP score, and lateral are the renal pen. MAP score. Grading of perinephric straining. Figure 8, 0 points. The fat around the kidney demonstrates no straining on this computed tomography image. The tissue surrounding the kidney is completely black. While figure B, mild or moderate type 1, 2 points assigned. The fat around the kidney has some image dense straining present, but no thick bars of inflammation. Figure C, severe staining type 2. Image shows severe staining around the kidney with thick image dense bars of inflammation. Higher MAP scores were more likely to be associated with lead, older, higher BMI, larger tumors. Higher MAP scores 4 to 5 were more likely to progress than low MAP scores and higher complexity of surgery. Roscoe score, risk of surgical complication score. It includes either the values from the Padua or the renal nephrometry scores and combines them with Charlson comorbidity index and BMI. It is typically reclassified 320 tumors operated in 2 institutions according to the Padua classification and the renal score. Patients were classified into low, moderate, and high complexity groups. An algorithm based incorporated the Padua result score, BMI, and CCI was created. The result score was the main risk of certain complication score. With an overall complication rate of 26 times 6%, the ROSCO was an independent predictor of surgical complication and performed better than Padua 68 versus 64%, and renal score 68 versus advice. Consider competitive risk of morbidity and mortality, oncologic prognosis, and patient preference to inform decision making and to risk stratify management strategies. Relation between these scores is very of most operating variables. To date, nephrometry has been shown to associate with technique selection, operative ischemic duration, complication rates, and post-operative functional outcomes. Also have verified the relative ease of use and reproducibility of the renal score system. Management of small renal vessels. Management strategies typically include surgical intervention like partial nephrectomy, minimally invasive surgery versus open surgery. Number two, radical nephrectomy like MIS versus open. Number three, ablative intervention like cryoablation, radiofrequency ablation. Number four, active surveillance, structured expectant management. Surgical treatment, decision making. Impact of renal score on surgical decision making. Partial nephrectomy versus radical nephrectomy. Higher complexity score more likely to undergo radical nephrectomy. MIS versus open. High complexity scores more likely to undergo open surgical approaches. Number three, active surveillance versus intervention. High complexity score more likely to undergo surgical intervention. The operative variables associated with choice of partial nephrectomy versus radical nephrectomy in patients treated for clinical tumors were tumor T1, A renal body, radical management of clinical T1, A renal.
डॉक्टर रहीम डॉक्टर रहीम डॉक्टर रहीम आपकी आवाज़ कम आ रही है.
The renal score predicts nephrectomy type 1 is clinical tumor T1, A renal cortical tumors in patients without definitive indication for nephron sparing surgery. Specifically look for the association of C-index score with surgical selection and PN success. Patients who require radical nephrectomy had a median CI score of 1, whereas those who successfully underwent partial nephrectomy had median score of median CI score of 2. A subset analysis was conducted in patients whom partial nephrectomy was attempted and failed. The median CI in those patients was 1.3. Based on those data, it was determined their tumors with a score of greater than 1.3 were greater than 9 times more likely to require radical nephrectomy. Surgical complications. Patients with a low complexity nephrometry score were less likely to experience a post-operative bleed or urinary fistula compared with moderate complexity vessels, whereas regions with scores between 12 and 14 were 5 times more likely to have a post-operative urologic complication. Reported that each unit increase in renal score was associated with an increased likelihood of a post-operative urine leak, with E score of being significant predictor of the risk. Renal score is predictive of overall complications in non-ischemic time following minimally invasive nephron sparing surgery. It also suggests that nearness to the collecting system may be used as a central predictor of overall complications and post-operative hemorrhage following an minimally invasive nephron sparing surgery. P-index and tumor size were the only significant predictor of non-ischemic time. Post-operative functional outcomes. C-index has shown to independently correlate with both nadir estimated biometric filtration rate and percent decrease in short term with GFR outcomes after laparoscopic partial nephrectomy. Perioperative kidney function was examined in consecutive patients who underwent partial nephrectomy. In multivariate analysis, the person decrease in the GFR after surgery was correlated with both CI and duration of ischemia. Reported that higher complexity tumors are measured by CI were associated with prolonged ischemia time and subsequent decreased post-operative with GFR. Reported that patients with greater nephrometric variables R plus E score were more likely to experience post-operative renal impairment after partial nephrectomy. Histologic features, investigators found a high correlation between the nephrometric score and tumor grade and histologic features, specifically papillary RCCs at the lowest, but total nephrectomy score and clear cell renal cell carcinoma had greater nephrectomy scores. Furthermore, benign lesions tend to be smaller, more endophytic, and non-thyroid. Higher nephrometry scores have been shown to correlate with pathologic stage, nuclear weight, and death from renal cell carcinoma. Clinical trial measurements, patients with unresectable RCC were treated with neoadjuvant sedative and were assigned a renal nephrometry score. At baseline, 81% of tumors were categorized with high complexity and 46 were downgraded to moderate complex after treatment, which facilitated surgery. It is the decrease in tumor proximity to the central iron receptors was the main parameter that reduced the nephrometry score and decreased the surgical complexity. Reproducibility of the renal score system, the highest concordance was with the R definition and N component at the lower. It concluded that assigning a nephrometric score was reliable and required minimal training. The renal nephrometry scoring system had good inter-observer reliability. Quantifying the tumor location was more challenging and least reliable of the 5 components. The Pearson test was used to assess inter-observer variability of total renal score as well as each of the 5 components of the scoring system. Maximum reproducibility C index points to the standardized mathematical model. Out prediction, warm ischemic time plus clamp time, all scores predicted significantly. Collecting system injury, all predicted but nephro better. Severe complication, all scores except C index. Embolism, transfusion rate, no correlation, and operative time, C index, and renal scores. Comparison. Renal and nephro scores require only 4 parameters. Urologists might favor these scores over P2I score that has 6 input parameters. Renal score less convenient to apply as it requires measuring distance from tumor to collecting system in millimeters. Renal complexity stratification shows a rather uneven distribution, with the majority of the methods being classified as intermediate and only few tumors as high. Conclusion. All these scoring systems represent method of quantitatively describing renal tumors in a standardized manner with reproducible inter-observer assessment. Use of these systems and in practice will afford meaningful comparisons among series and standardization of patterns of clinical care. Radiologists must understand how to calculate the nephrometry score and include this number in diagnostic reports. Although evidence supports the 3 main anatomy classification, renal, Padua, and C index in predicting surgical outcome, it is difficult to state that one of these methods is superior to others on the basis of currently available evidence. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Again, the best thing about this presentation is it is very much in detail, and it gives you the total, I think, the total picture of nephrometry scores. The missing point here is only one, and that is it is all done on 2-dimensional picture of a CT scan. Now, again, there is an improvement on that front also, and if you want to increase your knowledge about this thing, then there is an article, I think 2 months back, in British Journal of Urology about the 2D CT scan and the 3D CT scan. Now, if you consider the three-dimensional CT scan, then these nephrometry scores, both Padua as well as renal, have got more accuracy in determining their scores and also in guiding, uh, I think, about the total scores and their effects on surgical complications post-operatively. So, coming back to the same question as was raised by one of our colleagues, okay, why there is a need for such a system? There are again two things. One is whenever you want to speak amongst you, whenever you want to practice, you have to relate to a lot of colleagues. You have to be within the loop. You have to be interconnected with the community of doctors and surgeons as well as those who are in urology and other fields also. Just to keep you abreast of what's happening around. So what you need is the language, and the language is the one which has to be understood by everyone. So whenever we speak in a kind of a language, then we have to have certain things like this scoring system. Now, this is a world where everybody wants to learn something from the others, but something which has to be in the same language. And whenever now, if you want to say to somebody that I have got a tumor and it is on the upper pole, it is less than 4 centimeter in diameter. So what's your take on it? So the other person will say to you, I'm not sure what you are talking about. You are not telling me whether it is exophytic. You are not telling me whether it is endophytic in majority of its proportion. You are not telling me whether it is close to the hilum. Is it on the medial aspect of the kidney? Yes, it is on the upper pole, but more so on the medial aspect or on the lateral aspect. Uh, the person can also ask you, what is the shape of that tumor? Is it something which is complex, bizarre shape, having many different sort of a dendrites going into the depth of the kidney? It is involving is it involving uh, the collecting system? What about the vessels? So how close is the vessel? How close is the hilum? So is it dropping down in onto the hilum from the upper pole? Well, so there are many things which are actually hazy. So it's not sufficient to tell somebody the location, polar location, for instance, middle pole, upper pole, lower pole, and the size. If you go back to something called staging of the tumor, then you have got TNM classification, and T stands for tumor, and what it gives you is something called a two-dimensional size of a tumor. 7 centimeter, less than 7 centimeter, 4 centimeter, not more than that. So if I am inclined towards planning myself to do surgery on such a patient based on tumor diameter, I'll be at a fault. I need a lot of other information in addition to tumor size. So you get my point, Rafi?
Yes, sir.
So just giving somebody the size which is actually in the TNM classification is not all. I mean to say that there are, I think, 4 or 5 different kind of treatments that you can do for a tumor of maybe 4 centimeter on the upper pole. It can be partial nephrectomy, it can be total nephrectomy, it can be a cryoablation, it can be robotically assisted, laparoscopic, or it might be, for instance, radiofrequency ablation. So you have got a lot of things to choose from, but how you choose them depends upon, I think, nephrometry score or any score or any kind of system that gives you the total picture of the tumor, right from the surface till the depth of the kidney. So that's the kind of fine tuning that we are doing in 21st century, right? So if anybody wants to say something here, I think this is a very good presentation. And what I am impressed about this presentation is, apart from the completeness of the subject and the vastness of the subject is the slide layout. So I think the slide layout is much attractive. Yes, Faizan, you want to say something? Assalamu alaikum.
So I just want to correct that. When I'm predicting the report, is just like we know about the complexity, the morbidity, and the mortality of the patient. And what if this keeps on changing? Like we see a picture of a patient, and it's diabetic, so it's just like 10 or 12, and it progress. Then not everything will change. And most of it is the fact that but is this
So I didn't get your question rightly because of the voice quality. Can you just repeat yourself again?
I want to say that suppose that a patient is having hematopoietic score or having a tumor, basically score is like 10 or 12.
Right.
Then we are giving him a treatment. Then with the method of it progresses, the size increases or something like changes the treatment. So is it always likely to rely on hematopoietic score, or we should do other things?
Yes. You see, you're talking about something called neoadjuvant treatment, for instance, less than something called surgery, right?
Yes.
Right. So if you have done neoadjuvant treatment for a patient, it doesn't matter because the tumor is already of a metastatic nature. Normally, neoadjuvant treatment is given for those people who have metastasized. So this is a metastatic RCC. It's a separate ball game. What this nephrometry score is actually all about is something of a standard which has to be there in the reporting of a tumorous kidney by the radiologist. So this is a tool which has to be done by a radiologist, but it has to be understood by the surgeon. Whenever a radiologist reports, a surgeon, if is not in the process of understanding what the report says, then your imagination will not be correct. Your imagination is already is dependent upon the building blocks of the statement given by the radiologist. So your eyes are actually your radiologist. So this is something for the aid of radiologist, but it is again something for the understanding of a urologist and a surgeon, because he has to apply that knowledge on the patient, and the patient is the actual and the final say final person who has to be benefited. So the benefit has to go towards the patient, and when there is less morbidity, we have started with something called higher score, but if we plan accordingly, there will be less morbidity. So if that point is proven, then there is a value for a score. But if you see, if you have started a tumor and you think that it has got a high score, so come what may, there has to be a lot of bleeding, there has to be an increased time of operation, there has to be a warm ischemia time of a longer duration, then what happens? If you have done partial nephrectomy, the patient will go into renal failure. So there is compromise of GFR later on. But if you take care of all those things, less bleeding, maybe more time in surgery, but uh, with clipping of vessels, we're taking care of bleeding process, then your dissection plane will be as accurate and taking care of a lot of things as possible. So this is the beauty of these scores. They make you a little bit safer for the patient. Right. So it's a very good presentation. Again, I must say, it has brought on some new avenues for research also. As I've talked to you earlier, we have got two people with us who are working on a renal scoring system. Maybe in future we can make this kind of a proposal if somebody of you, maybe Rahim himself, who wants to work on it as something for his MS research project. So we can think a lot. We can think about many things. So that depends. That depends upon the researcher and principal investigator. So thank you very much. I think we are progressing quite smoothly, and the second round presentations are now with more depth in the subject, and that is what, at least from myself, that is what my requirement is. If your knowledge is increased, your understanding is increased, so that is one indicator of your interest, and the interest is the one that has to be there. Otherwise, the whole process will become cumbersome and too laborious if you are not interested in it. So my suggestion is still valid. If you want to have two presentations a day, I am here to listen to you, but you have to come up with your say approval. So tomorrow, I think it will be Ali. Ali, you are there. Ali, will you be able to do it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right. So if anybody wants to do a second presentation tomorrow. So give me a message on WhatsApp if anyone wants to add on to it.
Hello.
Yes. Anybody wants to say anything? Right. Okay. Tell me sometime later if you want to join in as a second presenter any day, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Right. So, the office.